second-hand pulpits that we bought off Tara up in Queensland off a voyage. I think it was a 42-foot cat from South Africa that was wrecked up in Queensland. We bought these guys second-hand, and I intend to repurpose them rather than build new ones. I need to cut off the seat bracket here. I intend to actually have a seat here because this is over the top of my hatch, so I've already cut off all the base plates. Stainless steel work continues. Our pulpits have been totally redesigned, and I'm just going to reuse this piece of bent stainless and move the seat from here to here so that it frees up our hatch, and that's been a pretty important modification. Got the poor bugger working into the night. Come down for a holiday to Jervis Bay, yeah.
And it is 1 a.m.
Oh! Don't make me look bad. I look bad enough as it is, you bastard. 2 a.m.
We've been here another hour.
The hours just disappeared. This is the time machine.
Been here for 15 hours?
I've been here for 6 years, I know that much. It's like Time Tunnel. Remember that show? When we were kids?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was a shocker. Righto. Shut my eyes. I won't worry about the ray burn that I've already, because I've already got skin cancer. Don't weld my finger. Oh. This is the first time I've welded my finger. Okay.
1 degree.
0.1.
No, 1.
Oh,
We
come
can
on.
do it. That's it, keep going.
Take it in there. 0.1 of a degree. That's not bad on a boat 43 foot long.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Look at that.
Perfect.
0. Good luck with that one.
What?
A little bit of bog. A little bit of bog in that one. Sorry, mate. Mate, you...
I'll keep it the thing to the cup.
Go on, do that. Look what just arrived. We can thank Rex and Joy from Saka Anchors. Look at this. It's a Saka 6, Saka XL 6. That is some anchor. We have been lucky. They did us a great deal on this. And you know, we're absolutely delighted to have a Saka XL. Our friends have got these on their boats.
Ron and Leslie and Al swear by them.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Well, Ron actually changed. I think he had a normal Saka, or perhaps, I'm not really sure, the other brand he might have had on the boat, and then he realised that after talking to Al, it might have been a good idea to change it over. So that's what's happened here, is we've got the same anchor. This is a 30 kilo one. This is designed for a 15, 17 metre boat. Ours is only 13 metres, but sort of good, well suited to a 13 metre catamaran.
I was going to say, we've got 2 holes.
Yep, yeah, well, that's right. But we haven't got a lot of weight, but we've got a lot of windage. So Janet and I have got a massive day ahead. I've been cutting the foam for the stations and the sections of our hull modifications, and these all have to be glued in. They're all numbered, and we're going to do them one section at a time. They're going to be glued in with Techniglue. Now, I was watching a video the other day when Mads on Sail Life was doing a restoration or a removal of moisture out of a mini keel on a particular catamaran, and when they opened it up, oh my God, what a disaster. This thing was just stuffed with whatever shit the factory could put in it. And that concerns me greatly. I don't want any issues like that. So every single piece of this foam is going to be glued individually with epoxy, and there's going to be absolutely no voids. I spent all day yesterday cutting these parts to make sure that they hug the hull sort of intimately, so that there's going to be zero chance of any moisture or any water getting into this and affecting the structure of the hull shape. Now, it's very, very important that they're glued in individually, so I've had to number them all, and you can see how there's 22 pieces of individual foam there. Luckily, the bottom of the strongback is flat, so the first one goes in and then everything else just stacks on top. It's going to be a bit of a job to get it all in place, and once it's in there, it means that I can then come back and sand this down to the edge of the station, which is the hull form on both sides. I've started over the other side there. I've completed about 9 sections. We've got 40 to do, so I've still got 31 to do, and I'll tell you what, that took me 5 hours yesterday to do 9, so there's another 31, so I'm pretty looking at another 15-20 hours of work just to cut the foam, and then probably about a similar amount of time to get them glued in. However, that will go a long way to completing the job. Once these are sanded back, I can almost leave them, or I can get straight onto laminating them. I'm going to do basically a complete layer of glass over the whole thing. I will reinforce the hull bottoms as well, but for now we're going to get all these glued in, and at least they'll be done. And you can see the actual front of the boat here. I haven't formed the front yet. I'm sort of trying to work out the sort of shape I'm going to go for. I want something that's a little bit streamlined, but I do need to make sure that I don't just have a big wall. It needs to be almost a bullet shape on the front to give me the buoyancy, firstly, which is the whole point of the exercise, and secondly, to make sure I don't affect my hull speed too much. Got a good job for you, done. What would you like to do today? That's shit.
Not this. Not this.
Oh, come on. You haven't even started. You've got 22 pieces by 40 sections, 800 pieces of stuff to glue in.
Geez, you're a motivator.
Okay, but the sooner you start, the sooner you get down to 400.
Look at the tools you provide me with.
I know. Well, got to eat more takeaway. The problem is we don't eat takeaway anymore. That avenue of pleasure has been removed from our life.
Good cooking. Because
Janet's a good cook, and it shows on me. But this is all we've got left. So we eat lots of hummus and all this vegetarian stuff.
Can I just say something? What shows on Ross is the bags of lollies.
Oh, don't give away my secrets. You're telling the truth.
Anyway, so I think I'm going to use these from
the Raptor.
The Raptor.
Yep.
I'll just put
you'll work it out.
In there and then mix in here.
Okay, so Janet's job, should she choose to accept it, and I don't know if there's any choice, is to glue all these in. Yeah, it is. It's mission unbearable, I'd say, because it's going to be close to 800 pieces of foam that need to be glued in here, and Janet's mixing station is hopefully out of the way of me, which I'm still working down in here. So trying to get the first 5 or 6 done on the inboard side. Haven't even started on the outside yet, so lots to do. Let's get on with it. So this has been time consuming. It would be an understatement, but anyway, we're getting it done, and essentially I'm going for 0 gaps. There shouldn't be any voids in this if Janet and I do our job properly here, and that means that these need to fit perfectly, particularly against the strong back, and then any voids filled, and I'm leaving minimal voids. I mean, we're down to a couple of millimetres here, and this will all be filled with epoxy, so there's no chance of any water ingress into the hull. And then what I'll do is I'm numbering them, position port, section 6, number 2. And that slides in there. And then I'm cutting these individually to fit each section. So I've got, you can see here I've got a hole disappearing there, so I need to miter the foam here to make sure that it fits right in underneath against that strong back, and then we fill that with epoxy to make sure there's no voids, and obviously then off to the bandsaw before I can then cut the sides. Righto, so each piece is numbered individually down in here. And Janet's just removed them top to bottom, so one obviously goes in first. The first one's our basis, so it's going to line up here, and then the rest will stack up on top of that, which is pretty obvious. So we're going to smear that in epoxy, but firstly we need to give that a clean. That first wall of the boat needs to be wiped down with acetone, and then we're ready to go, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it, we're forever changing the hull shape now. No going back now. Well, there's no going back anyway.
We always hear it upside down.
Yep, I did know. It was our dirty little secret. And the designers, apparently. Anyway, what do you do? It's your job in life is to get this right. The proportions are... Now, if you think I'm going to make you watch us glue 800 individual pieces of foam over a period of 7 or 8 days, then, although I am very tempted, I will certainly time-lapse as much of this as possible. However, to understand how massive this job was, it's important for relevance to sit through some of it. I ran into a few issues periodically as we progressed through the entire job, and it started to take the shape that I was aiming for. What's the problem?
Day 2, and I'm trying to help.
Day 2? I feel like I'm on day 10.
Oh, you are, but I'm not. I can't even.
See, there's no voids in this boat going. I'm making sure of it.
I know.
Can't even get the bits out.
I can't get them out to glue. Maybe we just won't bother gluing them.
And you know the sound when I pull them out sounds like bloody fingernails on a blackboard.
I can't push it.
All right, I'll get it out. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, right. No. No. Doing too good a job. Right. Now, there's nothing like a bit of marital bonding, but this was an epic job, spent often grovelling in the dirt and wind, and it didn't help by bashing the tent face into us whilst we slathered and fitted each piece for days on end. Over it yet? I am. I've been over for a while.
Yeah, I know you have. I'm taking over. What are you going to do with this? Because you got this bit stuck in.
Oh, I'll just break that one off. Yuck, it's like chalkboard. Look at the tolerances though, there's 0 tolerance here. Check out this woman digging in. Nice operation, isn't it? Bog it in until it fits. The first one has to be solid as rock because it's flat against the... It helps to have a bit of glue on it. Oh, shit.
So he stops it up.
Yeah, because I'm being filmed. And then you got to make sure it's level with the bottom of the strong back. And then it's just a matter of putting in as much glue as you can. So make sure there's absolutely no chance of any voids. Do you know, I bought a wood lathe way back when, hoping that I'd be able to form all this stuff and lay up all sheets and glue them all together and turn a tube to screw onto this, and it just wasn't going to happen. I know a guy who did it. The guy who rode the original plug for this boat actually did that.
Did what, Tom?
Got a big polystyrene tube from surfboard manufacturers, and got these big blocks of foam and put them on a lathe and turned a 350 mil or 300 mil tube and then fitted it on here. But it was polystyrene, so you can't use vinyl ester or polyester. He would have had to use epoxy, and that's what he did. He used epoxy to glass it on. We've taken a different approach by doing it like this, and we've got a slightly larger bulb with this extra sort of tulip shape, I guess you'd call it. But anyway, we're happy with it, and we don't care.
Yeah, as long as it works.
It's going to work. It's going to work.
We didn't have a lathe that could put it like that.
I've got a lathe. I bought one. But I'm not going to use it now. I'm going to keep that for when I'm at home turning, I don't know, what are we going to turn? Make recorders or something?
Whittling? No, we're going sailing.
I'm going to whittle.
No, you're not. We're going
I'm
sailing.
going to get a couple of chunks of wood and sit on my boat and whittle one day.
Oh, yeah, you're whittling now.
This is whittling. Going on like a monkey. It appears that we finally perfected the technique, at least for the foam install, but the actual bow itself had to be determined. So I set about shaping the very bulb at the bow using an arbitrary curve that appeared to take the shape of a torpedo to minimise the amount of disturbance of the laminar flow.
The central shape of the strong back would again create the form to shape to, and infilling with foam to build up the shape.
So as it transpires, I need 8 of each shape. So I've got, I'm up to 3. I've got 4 3s, 8 2s, 8 1s. So I'm going top on both sides exactly the same, top on both sides exactly the same. Alright, so I've got the bottom sections in. I thought I'll put them in first because I can use this as a base and then clamp them in, and then tomorrow what I'll do is I'll get the top sections, which I've already cut, and that's looking pretty good. That means I can just basically follow those stations and get this shape right. You can see on the other side here, it's been a pretty productive day. That's taken me all day to do about 50 of these pieces, but they're all glued, and tomorrow they're going to be rock solid. I did another 2 sections down here while I had the glue going, and tomorrow I can come in and put the top ones in there. And then I'm going to start working on the stem. I'll get that stem installed. It's going to be a bit of cleaning again, but yeah, this is the ongoing project that's never going to end. You can sort of see along the bottom here, start to look pretty intensely serious. Could have been an easier way to do it, but without putting shitty foam in it and filling it with 2-pack crap foam, I think this is the best way to go about it. Look at the goddamn mess I've made here though. I mean, it's just been endless. I've got tons of foam down here and slithers, bits and pieces of it everywhere. There's no point in cleaning up just yet until I get to the final stages of this. But I've done all of the bottoms on both sides, and now I'm able to just simply come in and put those other top ones on and get it built up to here, and then I can start to sand it back. I'm not going to worry about this yet. I'm going to actually hit this afternoon, the stem. I can start to work out the new shape of the bow itself, and taking quite a lot of horsepower to get this one together. I use that term pretty liberally because there's been a shitload of effort, and getting this attachment or bow modification done has been on my mind for over 5 years. I've been worried about it, and it hasn't been as difficult as I thought it was. A lot more labor intensive than I could have done it in another way. This is the best way to do it. None of that 2-pack shit foam that you pour in and expand, none of that sort of rubbish. That stuff, if it gets any water in it, will continue to rot. The result I'm getting here is a solid block of foam. H80 foam can never absorb any water. Once this is laminated in place, shaped and laminated, it is going to be as strong as the boat itself. In fact, probably stronger, because it's just epoxy foam, epoxy foam, epoxy foam. If ever we cop a bang on the front here, or cop a knock on a dock or another boat or whatever, I simply have to just fill it with foam and re-glass it. That easy. Okay, so this is not going to be a protrusion, it's going to be just a little small bump, but the actual stem of the boat ends here, so it's a tiny little bulb. It's not like a big ship bowl. When you have a look over here, I've got the brick laying on here. The stem's actually going to come right down and join in here. I've sort of opted for this tulip shape rather than a big knob sticking out the front, which is what they did with the last one. And although, you know, it served the purpose, it just didn't look good. And I'm not really sure it performed as well. God, that's a lot of work. There's a lot of work. Now I can pretty much get to just finishing in some of these, and then I can basically shape this back. In fact, I might do this right now and get these ones finished. I've still got to do this one here. I'm thinking I might wait till Janet comes back and go and have some time up in the boat. This is doing my head in working down in here. The mess that I've got here is just out of control.